This is Pub Sports Radio, folks, and we are live for every single MMA event under the sun. PFL, Bellator, UFC, we're always doing live shows. We do live in-game betting, and yes, freakouts like that happen on a regular basis. Shout out to my guy, Billy Bills, who cashed Montana De La Rosa via TKO at 42-1 in the second round, specifically just this past Saturday. So make sure you come hang out with us, subscribe here to Pub Sports Radio, and we will definitely be doing a good one on Saturday. I am joined by my man Dan from Half the Battle Best Fight Picks here talking UFC 263, and it is time for the main event. Marvin Vettori gets his second crack at champion style bender Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. Man, this fight has been a long time coming, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are not big fans of, well, either of these guys, honestly, but I think Marvin Vettori has been on a tear since the first time they fought, and he is more than deserving of this second crack at the champ. We've got Israel Adsanya coming off of his failed attempt at becoming a champ. He went up to 205 and got embarrassed by my guy, the legendary Polish power, Jan Blachowicz. He's coming back down to where he reigns at 185, and he needs to reestablish dominance and re-obtain that hype that he used to have. Marvin Vettori is a tough customer, man. This kid, we talk about fighters that have bad gas tanks, and a lot of people talk about Marvin Vettori having a bad gas tank, but the fact of the matter is he's a mind over matter type of fighter. He gets tired, he does not quit. He will appear to be tired in the fight, but he will himself and force himself to continue in those fights, and I think that's an admirable quality. He's a steel trap in his brain, even though he is a little bit emotional leading up to the fights pre-fight. He's solid, man. I like Marvin Vettori. His striking game is coming along. He's got excellent grappling, excellent takedowns, offensive submissions, nice ground and pound. The question is, can he do that to Israel Adesanya? I think this is a spot where we, very much like the last fight, have a clear recency bias in the public eye, because we just saw Israel Adesanya get put on his back and out-grappled for 25 minutes. Everyone's lining up and expecting Marvin Vettori to be able to do the exact same thing. And I just got to wonder, have y'all forgot? Like, this is Israel Adesanya. At 185, he's a monster. At 205, Jan was twice as thick as this man. Like, there's no way he was pushing off Jan and getting that man off of him once his back hit the mat. At 185, it's a different story. I truly believe that we're going to see Israel Adesanya reestablish dominance on Saturday. On the feet, he is unmatched. He's got a significant 6-inch reach advantage, which is hard enough to get around. But the fact that he's not fighting somebody that walks around at 205 pounds, or by fight time, I'm sure was around 230, I think he's going to have a much easier time getting up from under someone like Marvin Vettori and even defending those takedowns entirely. At range, you don't fuck with Israel Adesanya. I don't care how good Marvin Vettori's striking has gotten. He's not going to be able to touch Izzy at range. And I think that Israel Adesanya with bad intentions is a bad man. Anytime we've seen him come into the cage with bad intentions, he has flatlined his opponent, and I expect him to do the same here. Marvin Vettori has 25 minutes locked in the cage with Izzy, and I honestly am seeing a late TKO style finish. I haven't done my round 3, 4, and 5 prop sprinkles for some time. I think it's coming back on Saturday, because I expect Israel Adesanya to be able to pick Marvin Vettori apart when they slow down, when they tire out, when we talked about, you keep standing up, you gas out your opponent from all those grappling attempts, those takedowns. When he forces Vettori to strike with him in rounds 4 and 5, I think he's going to put him down, and he's going to put him down hard in the late quarter of this fight. Dan, talk to me, man. Are we going head-to-head here? Do you agree with me on the main event for UFC 263?
No, I mean, I think it's a situation where obviously you can't write off Izzy just because he lost to the champ up a weight class in a competitive fight. But let me point out some similarities between Blachowicz or Blachowicz, as I like to say, and Vettori. So you watch that fight between Israel and Jan Blachowicz, and first 2 rounds, Izzy was outstriking him, doing his thing. Third round, that's when the takedowns started to happen. Now, it's not a situation again, talking about ground game, it's not, people are going to be like, oh, Izzy has no ground game. Oh, really? If he had no ground game, then how come Jan Blachowicz didn't pass his guard and pound him out? That's no ground game. So he has his get-up game isn't the best. This we can agree on, but to sit here, act like the man has no ground game is just categorically false, right? So but here's the similarity, Clint. Round 3 was when Jan Blachowicz was able to get the takedown, then subsequently in 4 and 5. In Izzy versus Marvin's first fight, it was round 3 where Marvin was able to get the takedown and Izzy couldn't get back up. So that's what I'm worried about, man, because, on the feet, look, Vettori's got a fucking insane chin. Oh, my God. That guy's got a blockade. You hit him with a baseball bat, he's going to look at you and laugh, right? So he's going to be eating a lot of shots. And I even saw Kevin Holland rock him with something. Just Kevin Holland couldn't keep the fight standing. So to me, it's about, can Izzy not only keep it standing, but if he does get taken down, because, like, again, I don't think that, Izzy's about to get his guard passed or get submitted or fucking get ground and pound TK. Like, dude, let's not even go there. The only thing I'm worried about is him getting held down. Like, because the times I've seen him taken down against Blachowicz and against Vettori, he wasn't able to get back up. So that's what I'm worried about. And then another thing, which I'm not sure if this is logical or maybe this is superstitious. I kind of have a thing about, like, destiny, man. Like there's a night where, like, guys, like, will just simply not be denied. Like, for example, Charles Oliveira paid his dues for so many fucking years that just, like, he just wasn't going to be denied that night. When Dustin Poirier fought Max Holloway in Atlanta for the belt, like, Max is a fucking stud, but Dustin's been, paying his dues for so long, he just wasn't going to be denied that night. When Bisping fought Luke Rockhold, it doesn't matter about who's the more physical guy or who won the first fight. Bisping, that culmination of years of work, like, just all leads up to that one moment. So if this is truly Marvin's time, then I accept it, and I will not be surprised if he becomes the new champ. But my pick has to be Izzy because all fights do start standing, Clint, and there's a massive edge on the feet here. And I do think he's going to pick him apart. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get a knockout because this dude, Marvin's got a fucking iron jaw, iron will, just the determination to win. Maybe he will be the champion. It's just, when are these takedowns going to come? Is it going to be in the 3rd round, kind of like the trend indicates, like the first Vettori fight and also like the Blachowicz fight? Like I said, they weren't able to get takedowns until round 3. This is a 5-round fight. And Izzy wasn't able to get back up. That's what I'm worried about. So that's what makes it so intriguing to me, Clint. That's why I do think that Vettori is a deserving contender. And I think that this has the potential to be a great fight. So this is one of those fights where I'm not going to call it favorite or pass. I'm not going to call it dog or pass because I truly believe you can make a legitimate argument for both guys. I mean, Izzy's been a money train. What's his record? 20-1?
Yeah.
Or 19-1? Like basically he's won, I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, but over 95% of the fights.
His only loss came up a weight class, man. He's undefeated at 185.
If you bet him every fight, you're up. Let's just leave it at that. But same thing can be said for Marvin Vettori, and he's the dog here. So that's what makes it intriguing. So people that are, taking the side on Vettori, I understand. Let's get him down and let's make sure he doesn't get back up. It's just, Izzy's got to know that that's what's coming. It's just, can he stop it? Knowing it's coming and stopping it are two different things. So that's what makes this fight really hard for me. But I'm going to say Izzy edges out 3 of the rounds and gets a 48-47. But I really believe Marvin's going to give a spirited effort because this is a life's work. This is a guy who's paid his dues. I mean, you remember when he was in the UFC at like 22 years old, losing to Antonio Carlos Jr., right? Look at him now, right? 2 main events in a row, dominates guys thoroughly for 5 rounds straight. He takes them down. They can't get back up. So that's what I'm worried about here. But I'm gonna edge with Izzy Adesanya and still.
Okay. All right. So we agree on that one. I'm a bit more confident on this side than Dan is, and that's totally fine. I completely agree that Marvin Vettori has paid his dues, and I completely agree that he is one of these fighters that tends to be a bit undeniable in the way that he approaches these fights. But at 185, I simply think that Israel Adesanya is on another level, man. I think that's all it comes down to is at home in his weight class, he is a different monster. And I think that Marvin Vettori, while there's some similarities between him and Jan, he is not Jan. I think the size difference is a big factor in those takedowns. And I do think that there's going to be an opportunity for Israel Adesanya to get that knockout. Whether he comes out and does it like he did Rob, where it's a starching early, whether he manages to hang in there and has to do it late, he could get this thing done by decision as well by just banking those early rounds. I think Israel Adesanya is going to be and still come Saturday night. That is the breakdown for all of UFC 263. We've gone nearly 2.5 hours for you folks, looking for every single angle, turning over all the stones, letting you know what we think about everything on this fight. So good luck on all of your action, making bets on Saturday. There's a lot of fun stuff. We've got great shows coming up. I'm going to have the Total Takedown. I've got the post-weigh-in show, the undefeated post-weigh-in show on Friday. Of course, my guys in the chat, we've got, Connor Mack, DFS, Jimmy the Bag's always doing his thing. My guy Nick handles the live streams. Locker Room does the Bet Your Lunch Money. Billy Bill's in the house as well. Razor Sharp Picks giving out shit. And we have to make a massive thank you, a special shout out to my guy, Dan Levy from Half the Battle at Best Fight Picks on Twitter, man. Thank you so much for flying in. You saved the show. You got me an awesome guest for a fantastic card. And not only that, you brought Eric, your boy Andrews, with you live to the podcast. So we owe you a huge debt of gratitude. The floor is yours, my friend. If you want to shout anything out, if you've got anybody you want to spotlight, let the people know where they can find you. Now's your time.
No, I mean, obviously, Clint, it's always a pleasure. I'm really happy to see your success. I want to see you go all the way, like I've told you in the past. So I'm cheering for you, man. Truly appreciate you. To all the fans, everybody that enjoyed it, and everyone, a couple of people talking shit. I still appreciate y'all too, man. We're all entitled to our opinions, but at the end of the day, be a good person, and that's what counts, really. So follow me at Best Fight Picks on Twitter. My podcast is called Half the Battle, and also download the Press Sports app. It is so badass. I am telling you, Press Sports, check it out. And thank you guys again. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it. And everybody, like I said before, good luck on all your bets. We may disagree on picks, and that's okay. That's what the betting market is there for. That's what it's all about. But one thing that in sports betting specifically, but a lesson that you can take into your regular life that can help you feel more fulfilled and happier is that we're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to learn our lessons. And honestly, if you're not changing your mind, if you're not understanding, receiving new information, learning and growing, then you're doing it wrong. And you're never going to allow yourself to be a better person than you were yesterday. You're never going to be a more successful gambler, and you're just not going to have the opportunity to achieve your full potential. So when people change their minds, when people digest new information and it shifts the way they view the world, don't let that be a negative. Don't let that be something that bothers you. Embrace that. Make sure you are open to new thoughts, new ideas, new perspectives. Have a great week. We will see you all later this week, and let's roll.